Welcome into the State of Sports podcast. I'm here with the normal crew. I got Stash Cuddy. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Good, man. Another day closer to vacation for us, man.
One more down.
Inching closer. Morgan, how are you, man?
I'm all right. Cubs were almost back.
Almost. The big dog was almost eating good. So today's episode is, I think, going to be a wash, but that's okay. Morgan will be having Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz versus Knicks, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettitte, and Mike Mussina. I think this could be a bloodbath, no pun intended, regarding the Braves.
But... I feel like I got kind of fucked 2 debates in a row here with John Stockton.
You won the Stockton one, though.
I did win the Stockton one.
Yeah, so you know what? You take the dubs when you get it. I will gladly be moderating this one, but baseball shirt on, guys. I got a baseball shirt on.
Hey,
showing a little Red Sox pride. No big deal.
Your future world champion Red Sox.
That's right, the future world champion, not my future world champion. Just saw that out there. But we are going to open with one of Morgan's favorite basketball players of all time, and his Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They take up Antetokounmpo. They take what is it?
Antetokounmpo?
Antetokounmpo, yeah. I got it.
Well, you're a racist.
Yeah. 3-2 lead. They have won 3 straight against the Suns. Wow.
Yeah.
That play last night when Drew Holiday stole the ball from Devin Booker and alley-ooped with Giannis, he got up so high.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Morgan, do you have a thought about that? How do you feel about Giannis, just blossoming in front of your eyes, the man you hate?
I don't know if I'd call it blossoming. I mean, they won that game because his teammates showed up.
Well, it's a team sport.
It is congratulations. It's a team sport.
I think regardless of what LeBron said in his tweet, even though he was there for CB3, I think when the king is in the arena, he emits greatness. And Giannis soaked some of it off of him and was able to pull out that performance.
You mean the guy who airballs free throws and can't shoot a free throw in the 10-second limit?
He's 3-2 right now.
3-2.
They're up 3-2.
He's going to be a world champion. I called it last episode we had. I said if Milwaukee wins this game 4, they're winning the series. And lo and behold.
Did you say they win the series, or did you also say they don't lose again?
I don't know if I said they don't lose again. I think I might have said they don't lose again. I think we can run that back.
Yeah, because I had said they were going to win that one, but then not win again.
Yeah.
Which, not the case.
No, I think I said if they win that one, they're not losing again.
They're on pace.
And well, what do we have here? I'm not gonna lie.
You're front running now because you took the Suns at the beginning of the series, and now you're just going with the Bucks.
I want this.
You're gonna pick and choose the winner. And
we had the Bucks going to the finals.
I had the Bucks going to the finals, and I also want this on the record. I did say when they were down 2-1 that if Milwaukee wins, when they were down, that they were going to come back and win the series.
It's true.
They figured it out, and I mean, has anybody seen Chris Paul? He's going to be on the back of a milk carton at the end of this series.
Yeah, I was going to say we should probably put out an Amber Alert. Somebody do the State Farm jingle. Maybe he'll show up.
He's averaging like 23, 8, and 4 in the finals.
Yeah, from the first 2 games, garbage time stats.
He had 21 and 11 last night on 12 shots.
And a fucking L, too.
Sorry, outside of Booker, they're not scoring.
Yeah, well, what did I say, man? Front court depth. It's finally the death of them. Giannis is just eating. He was bullied Ayton last night at some points, and I was like, ooh. Ooh. But I think it's over. I think Milwaukee's winning in Milwaukee, and I think the Cream City's getting turned.
How about that game before? Was it game 4? I think that Devin Booker clearly fouled out of that game.
Clearly.
And they just let him keep playing. And then he was like huffing and puffing off the locker room like you shouldn't have been fucking fouled out.
Or you should have been fouled out.
Or should have been, rather.
That block Giannis had in that game 4, holy shit.
The comparisons to LeBlock are ridiculous. Nowhere near the same. What was on the line for that block for LeBron's?
Listen, it wasn't a game 7. That's all I have to say. It wasn't a game 7. Morgan, if you don't think like we're gonna talk about LeBron James when we're talking about the NBA Finals, then what the fuck are you doing here?
We'll get to LeBron.
Oh,
What did LeBron do?
He started a kids movie and the script was bad. Oh well, who cares?
Oh no, boo!
What? He's crying all the way to the bank.
Skip Sawyer over here.
Yeah,
Just crying about kids movies.
Morgan Bayless, kid movie critic,
Expert, actually.
He does love Harry Potter.
I saw a text today Morgan sent to his father saying Space Jam: A New Legacy is the worst movie of all time.
That's not what the text said, but okay.
It
said I said it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Okay, one of the worst movies. I'm sorry, I slightly messed it up for you.
That's high praise.
I will say though, Morgan's dad's response, I figured it has LeBron in it.
Oh my god.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. Not say worst of all time.
Well, I mean, I think you can kind of assume you think it's one of the worst movies of all time if you say it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Well, Chris Paul will be ringless after this finals again, and Giannis will have a championship. He'll be like one of the only players, like I think he joins Jordan. He joins Jordan. I think it's just Jordan as the only player to be a multi-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and a NBA champion.
It's a pretty nice nice
decent
resume.
Pretty decent company, I would say. So
yeah.
Eat shit, Morgan.
All right. That's fine.
Let's get to the debate though. I'll be moderating this one. You guys had a friendly wager on who gets to go first. And I believe it'll be Nick going first because the Cubs were almost back and then, well, they lost today, so they're not back.
I mean, they came back yesterday and Willie Contreras had a game winner in the ninth to go ahead. 2-out rally, scored 3 runs.
We bet on that game on, was it yesterday? Was it last night?
I think it was Saturday, yeah.
Yep, and they ended up pulling it off, and I said, hey, whoever wins this game loses goes first.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Nick. Let me hear it.
I noticed Morgan dropped that W flag in back of him. Let me go ahead and pick that up for you.
All right, hey, hold on 1 second. This room's hot.
Oh my goodness.
You may see.
This is probably some stuff you do prior.
That's what you call a working show, Yeah.
That's why you need that producer in there to turn your AC on.
I do. Any volunteers? We're ready.
Or at least just a real long stick. All right. Let me get into this one. Roger Clemens, Mike Mussina, and Andy Pettitte. Yeah. All three of them played a lot of years for the Yankees, but they only played from 2001 to 2003 with each other. So we'll go down the line with Roger Clemens. MVP, 2-time Triple Crown, 2 times World Series champion, All-Star Game MVP, 7-time ERA title, and a 7-time Cy Young winner. It's the most of any pitcher in history. Roger Clemens almost takes out all 3 of his by himself.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
You know what?
Don't insult Greg Maddux like that.
Because the Hall of Fame is run by a bunch of clowns.
Morgan, would you like to interject on the Hall of Fame?
I mean, the fact they put Mike Mussina in the Hall of Fame is kind of a travesty in itself.
What the fuck is wrong with Mike Mussina?
He doesn't have the numbers.
He's a class act. He's a 5-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove. He's great.
7-time Gold Glove for a pitcher is a lot.
Oh, that's a lot. So how about Greg Maddux is 18?
He's got a career ERA of a 3.68. That's pretty great. 270 wins, 2,813 strikeouts.
Not 3,000.
It's not 3,000. But Roger Clemens has 4,672, which is almost more than all 3 of those pitchers when they played together had combined. I believe they struck just over 4,600 batters out. He almost beats that by himself.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive numbers. And Mike Mussina, I'll reiterate, in the Hall of Fame, regardless of whatever the fuck Morgan thinks.
6
Hall of
ballots,
Famer.
76%.
Still
Made
made it.
Just
And then
saying.
we go, and then we go down the line to Andy Pettitte, he's a 3-time All-Star, ALCS MVP, and got to bring it back, a 5-time World Series champion. So those are my openings for those guys. What we get into after is whatever happens, I guess.
Let me hear the brave side of the argument there, Mr. Sawyer.
To call them a trio is an insult to the Braves trio. 10 years together, they won 14 out of 15 straight division titles. Not together, but they won 7 or 10 straight division titles when they were together. Before them, they had 6 straight seasons where they didn't win 70 games. Then we get into them. Greg Maddux is one of the most, and probably the most underrated pitcher there ever was. The dude won. He's one of 2 people with 4 consecutive Cy Young seasons. The other one's Randy Johnson. During their run in the 90s, they won 7 of 8 Cy Youngs. Greg had 4, Glavine had 2, and John Smoltz had 1. Glavine is a 300-game winner. Greg Maddux, 355 wins, which is 1 more than Roger Clemens. So he may have the strikeouts, but Maddux has more wins in 1 less season.
Roger Clemens, though, also accomplished what he did in almost 40 less games.
This is his opening argument. Sorry, we not do a cross-examination yet.
He brought up that Mike Mussina should be in the Hall of Fame.
Fair. Morgan, you guys are both deducted a point. These are opening arguments, gentlemen. We do not interrupt. We get to cross-examination later. I'm the judge.
Where he's got, I'll give him 2 Hall of Famers because I think Clemens should be in there. I'll be nice. But all 3 of my guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. All 3 of them. Greg Maddux received 97% of the vote. Still a little low for the Hall of Fame, considering there's no reason why he's not a unanimous Hall of Famer. But they're 10 years together. They are considered one of the greatest trios ever to pitch together at the same time. They won a World Series. They just were absolutely dominant.
Is that the end of your opening arguments?
Yeah, I'll hold it there.
Perfect. I'd like to ask you both a question. In their times together, who did the Yankees win a World Series with that trio?
No, all 3 of them do not have a championship together. Mike Mussina, in fact, doesn't have any championships.
That's sad.
He left. He entered in 2001, the year they lost.
Yeah.
And he left in 2008, the year after 09. Jared Jeter got his 5th championship.
Okay. So my question for you is, how many World Series championships does Roger Clemens have?
World Series championships, Roger Clemens has 2.
2. Okay. Both with the Yankees?
With the Yankees. Yeah, obviously not with the Red Sox or Astros.
Or Blue Jays.
Just making
Blue
sure.
Jays.
All righty. Since Morgan got to go second for the opening arguments, Morgan, you can reach across the table first.
So one of the first things I noticed with them, the Pettitte, Mussina, none of them were better as a Yankee. All their stats were better with other teams. Clemens had a 1-run higher ERA with the Yankees at a 4.04 to his career of a 3.12.
Now,
he's coming across below the belt.
He is, but let me see if I can hide it. In 01, Clemens was a Yankee. He won the Cy Young Award with a record of 20-3. When was he worse?
One of his 7?
One of his 7.
So he won 1 as a Yankee. In 6 seasons?
In 01. But that was his record was 20-3. So you're saying they weren't better as a Yankee? I mean,
they weren't.
That's pretty
he
good,
won
though.
2 World Series, but that was after they had left. He had a higher ERA. Pettitte had a higher ERA, and Mussina also had a higher ERA with other teams, the Yankees, compared to the Astros. And
I believe they were both on the Astros.
Pettitte was. Mussina was on the Orioles.
Was on the Orioles.
But when you look at it, hold on, let me pull it up. Clemens.
You guys got to have this shit on top. Nick, what's your punch across? Morgan, you can do it after.
I mean, my punch across one out of everything. I mean, Roger Clemens has 7 Cy Young Awards. They all have that combined. He's got as many as they do combined.
See, this is going to be an interesting part of this argument for you guys. Are you going to just do the trios on the team, or are you guys going to start bringing in the rest of their careers?
If you go with the trios on the team, the Braves win automatically because they have a championship together.
Fair.
So I didn't really know how to approach this at a different angle, being that
I like it though.
They are much less accomplished than the Braves were together, but they also played for 10 years.
Yeah.
The Yankees only had 3.
So here's a quick question, and Nick, and then Morgan, we can get to your point because I'm sadly interrupted you, but you gotta have the shit on hand, Morgan. Come on.
Yep, I have it right here. I've got like 4 pages of notes. I'm trying to flip through which one it was on.
Well, I've got 5.
Fair enough. So Nick, quick question: if they get 10 years together, Pettitte, Clemens, and Mussina, what do you think they run off?
Well, they at least get another championship because they won in 09.
Yeah.
I believe all of them 2010, 8. Actually, Mussina left in 2008, so he wouldn't have been there anyway. But if he stayed, like you said.
But if also you can do it let's do a few years before as well.
A few years, but a few years before, Roger Clemens is there from 99 to 2003. Mussina showed up in 2001. Andy Pettitte was there a real long time, 1995, 2003. So yeah, those 4 years that they won in was it 96, 98, 99, and 2000, they would have easily won championships together.
Interesting. Morgan, what was your point?
Oh, I was just looking at Clemens. His 13 years with Boston, he had a 3.6 ERA. Then he goes to the Yankees, a 4.01. The 3 years with Houston, he had a 2.4. And the 2 years he had with Toronto was a 2.3.
Did he win a championship with Houston?
No.
Won both with the Yankees.
Yeah. But he had more run support is what I'm saying. To have a 4 and you still win 20 games, that's a lot of runs.
Didn't hurt him, though. His career ERA is the best of all 6 of these guys with a 3.12.
Oh, sorry, Maddux has a 3.16.
Hey, you can't say anything. You were like, Maddux has one more win than Clemens.
He has one more win, but he has one more win in 40 more games played.
Really? That many?
Greg Maddux played.
The Maddux, was he a reliever at any point or not?
No, he played.
Oh.
He started 740 games. He played 744.
Morgan. That 1% is a little low for Greggy boy.
It's because he played with the Cubs for a while when they sucked.
Yeah.
Real low, actually. He's got 227 losses.
Say that.
Roger Clemens has 184 losses.
Maddux is the first pitcher with 17 straight seasons with 15+ wins.
That's pretty crazy.
I have a follow-up on that right here. Because Mussina has a very similar stat. Oh, I went to my fucking weekly wrap-up page. Mussina, yeah, he has 11 wins in 17 consecutive seasons. That's an all-time AL record.
Both Mussina and Maddux, obviously Maddux was better, but they both have that longevity stuff, They didn't throw too hard, but they could paint.
Maddux is the best painter of all time on the mound.
He is Bob Ross.
Great reference.
I just looking at Maddux, his 4 straight years of a Cy Young, he went 75-29 with a 1.98 ERA over 4 years.
It's very good.
Pretty good.
He underrated. He's 8th in the MLB history in wins and 10th in strikeouts. People don't think of him as a strikeout pitcher, but he's 10th in Ks.
3,371.
Yeah. So he's no slouch there.
So I've heard enough about Clemens and about not Glavine, Maddux. I want to hear about some of the other guys a little bit. I've heard a little bit about Mussina. I want to hear about Smoltz, Morgan. You haven't touched on him once. You said he's a Cy Young winner. Let me hear some John Smoltz stuff.
All right. Well, with John Smoltz, he had the year he won the Cy Young, he went 24 games. He's the second player ever with a 20-win season and a 50-save season. He ended up he had the record for most saves until Francisco Rodriguez beat it 57, but he had 55.
K-Rod?
K-Rod, yeah. But him and Dennis Eckersley are the only two with the 20-win season. And
what a mustache on that man, too.
Also, until Andy Pettitte broke his record, John Smoltz had the most career playoff wins. And he was 15-4 with a 2.67 in the playoffs.
Pretty good.
Andy Pettitte took that. Andy Pettitte also has the franchise record as a Yankee of strikeouts all time.
As a Yankee, that's
Yankee.
That's very impressive.
John Smoltz is the Braves strikeout leader.
They're not a prominent franchise like the New York Yankees. I'm sorry.
Just saying.
I mean, like we touched on before too.
Or should I say that trash can down there in the Bronx? Go Sox!
Plus,
I'll be partial.
If we're going down the line with these guys at each other, Eric Smoltz and Andy Pettitte's a 5-time champion.
How many?
5-time.
That's one of my favorite things he's done, Morgan. I'm sorry. I had to hear it again. Yeah, but so both of them, very good. Smoltz is definitely different because he went from that starter role to that closer role. So having that 21 season plus a 51 season is just absurd.
And you had asked a question earlier of what if the Yankees had played for that long together?
Yep.
If you take their time together, that Braves trio had 453 wins combined as a trio. Mike Mussina, Andy Pettitte, and Roger Clemens had 151 wins in 3 years. You times that by 3, 9 years total, 453. If they get one more year, they're going to get more wins than them as a trio.
But that's hypotheticals. That's barring injuries,
He asked.
I did ask the question.
But that's just speculation.
That's hearsay.
I mean, they got a third of their wins in only 3 years.
Pretty impressive.
And that doesn't even touch. I mean, obviously that'd be a quartet, but that doesn't even touch on the fact that when Mariano Rivera was there with them too. But that's a different argument.
That is
There's not even an argument for Mo.
We'll leave Mo out of this.
Yeah. Morgan, what about Mr. Glavine, as Nick would say? Tom Glavine.
Wow. Tom Glavine. He was the World Series MVP. He went 2-0 in those playoffs, 14 innings, a 1.29 ERA for that World Series MVP. He also has 5 20-win seasons. He's 21st in wins. He's one of 6 left-handed pitchers with 300-plus wins.
Damn.
And he's the only player to throw 2 shutouts at Coors Field.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
He also has the least amount of strikeouts on anybody on this list. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He does not. But he has a lot of losses, 203.
Oh.
300 wins, though.
He's the second to last lowest strikeouts, 2,607.
Who is the lowest?
Andy Pettitte.
Andrew. Unbelievable.
But Mike Mussina beats him with 2,813 strikeouts. And
Moose was nasty.
And he has less losses, only 153.
But how many Cy Youngs does Mike Mussina have?
Doesn't have any.
Oh, well, Glavine's got 2. And he's a 4-time Silver Slugger.
Whoa.
He is. Yeah.
10-time All-Star. So
the Silver Slugger one's that's nice.
That's a good one. So Morgan, you said it earlier. Greg Maddux has 18 Gold Gloves.
18.
Nick, how many Gold Gloves do the Yankees have?
Mike Mussina is the only one showing up on this list with a Gold Glove with 7.
Not bad.
So in the Gold Glove department,
still a Hall of Famer.
Still a Hall of Famer.
Greg Maddux has the most putouts as a pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, Maddux is one of the most underrated pitchers one of my favorite pitchers. So that's why I harped on Maddux for a while.
I know how you felt. That's why I want you to talk about the others, because it's not just about it's not Maddux versus Clemens. It's trio versus trio.
No, Greg Maddux, 5,008 innings pitched to Clemens's 4,916, and Clemens still beats him. Way less innings pitched.
Clemens was a strikeout pitcher.
Sure was.
I mean, Maddux was a technical pitcher. Maddux was way more control. Some would argue he might have been a better pitcher.
So, Morgan, I have to ask you a tough question now. Why do the Braves, with all that success, only have 1 World Series championship in that 10 years?
They folded in a couple playoff runs. They went to 2 World Series, but
who'd they lose to in one?
I don't recall.
Who they lose to,
95.
Morgan? Answer the question.
They lost to the Yankees.
You know who is it? You know who there for that one? Andy Pettitte.
Yeah, he was the only one.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Pettitte, a monster.
yeah, they lost that World Series, but
But like honestly though, like they won the division like almost every year, if they won it every year. Why don't they have more playoff success, you think?
I mean,
Like they got one. So like when Giannis wins a championship, he's off to Schneid for the rest of his career. It doesn't matter if he wins another one. He's going down as an all-time great. That can't even shoot a fucking free throw.
I mean,
But why don't they have more? Just baseball, that's the excuse.
I mean that's you get some teams get hot, some teams go cold. The bats go cold, pitching goes cold. That's just how it works in baseball sometimes. Sometimes they run into the hot 97 Florida Marlins who ended up beating the Yankees.
That's baseball, baby.
Sometimes that's just how it works.
The Yankees needed a break.
But I mean, in the
Too many
year
rings.
the year they did go to the World Series, Glavine was 16-7 with a 3 ERA, 182
Wow.
Ks. Maddux was 19-2 with a 1.63 ERA, and Smoltz was 12-7 with a 3.8 and 166 Ks. So I mean, they pitched well that year.
Yeah.
And you think with Smoltz, he lost 5 years as a starter because of Tommy John.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he was closing. So
Yeah.
we want to play the hypothetical. 5 years, you had, I don't know, 15 wins a season. He's up to 270.
154 saves too. So he
I think it
Taken
helps
at the end.
Smoltz's argument that he went to a closer, to be honest.
And he was dominant as a
Yeah.
closer.
Absolutely dominant.
I mean,
'cause
he
Wiggins-
had 154 saves in 4 seasons. And really, it was 3 because the first season he was coming off Tommy John.
His win to loss ratio though is not terrific. It's 213 wins to 155 losses.
Yeah, no. But
It's not very good.
above 500. Plus he's got saves, I mean. And he's got an NLCS MVP.
Ooh.
Yeah, he does. Actually, Andy Pettitte has an ALCS MVP. To go
Andy
with those
Pettitte.
5 rings.
But for not being a starter for 4 years and he's still at 3,000 strikeouts,
Yeah, that's a lot.
pretty impressive.
Just over, yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting to the point here where want some closing arguments. Guys, put the final nail on the head. Try to convince me.
All right, well.
No,
yeah.
no. Morgan has to go first.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, career-wise, if you combine all three, they have 873 wins, 585 losses, 9,000 strikeouts, 154 saves, 7 Cy Youngs, 26 All-Stars. You take the 48 seasons they were just Braves, they were 648 and 382, a 3.1 ERA, and almost 7,000 strikeouts, just as they were for the Braves.
Wow.
Outside of Clemens, that's the only reason the Yankees numbers are so high for that trio. Because if you take Clemens' numbers out of it, it's a runaway. But just because Clemens was such a beast pitching, and unfortunately he's not in the Hall of Fame. And I think that's where it comes down to is 3 first ballot Hall of Famers to 1.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really a humongous argument to be made against these 3, against the Braves 3. They're arguably the best starting rotation in baseball history. So this was definitely a tough one, but I don't know. When you get down to the numbers and the little smaller things, I think that the fact that these 3 Yankees can even keep up in this debate is impressive. Plus, I mean, the 7 Cy Young awards for Roger Clemens and their combined 7.
Combined 7, they played 3 years together. Come on.
Yeah. But
and they're all by one guy.
He won a Cy Young the year they played.
But they were all by Clemens. It's not like Mussina and Pettitte both had Cy Young.
Hey.
All 3 of my guys have Cy Young.
Hey. He didn't interrupt you during your closing arguments. I'm going to the scorecard. That's -1, Morgan. That's -1 on the scorecard.
Really, at the end of the day, you just got to look at the Braves trio was able to pull off a championship together, and the Yankees trio wasn't. But I still think they hold their own against them. They would definitely be a force, and when you think of just the Yankees in that time, they were so dominant.
Man,
Even if they didn't win as a trio, they were so dominant.
You rolled over like a puppy dog. Come on. Showing your belly. Well, I will say, I mean, the answer to this one is obvious. It is obviously the Braves. But I do want to give some points to Morgan for not bringing up the steroids allegations for Pettitte and Clemens and playing a clean game. Nick, you were definitely behind the 8 ball with this one. This one was tough.
Yeah.
We didn't really overly think about how many years they played together, so that's probably on all 3 of us. The trio of us, you know what I mean? Hopefully,
I knew that, but I knew I was getting the Braves, so
well,
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Shocker, Morgan's a bad teammate and selfish and wants to pick up the win.
Of course I do. It's all about me, baby.
So, you know, it's a tough one, but you put up a hell of an argument, man. Like Clemens by himself is just ridiculous with stats.
Yeah.
And he didn't even bring up his WAR, which is a 139, which is ridiculous.
Unbelievable. But it was a good argument. I really enjoyed it. You know, it's a tough one, Nick. It's tough.
Yeah, it's insurmountable.
So we're gonna move on to our weekly wrap up. We're gonna start off with the NBA, not the MLB. We'll do a little switch here. First headline: 6 out of 7 of the NBA coaches hired are minorities.
Yep.
Very happy about that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
The NBA's always been the front runners for being progressive. And
most definitely.
They definitely have it set up so it's a better system because a lot of assistant coaches are also black.
Yeah.
So it sets them up to be in the system and be qualified and all that stuff. So
yeah, for sure. So you know, speaking of minorities, when do we think a woman's going to be hired as a head coach?
I think within the next season or 2. We were close this year.
Yeah.
What's her Becky Hammond?
Becky Hammond, yeah.
She made it to a finalist, wasn't she? She was
I think she might end up taking over for Popovich. Although it's between her and Duncan, depending on which way they want to go.
It's hard not to pick Timmy, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't see him being a coach.
Well, what do you mean? 5-time champion.
Mr.
He's a 5-time champion, but
five-time.
I don't know. He seems very quiet and soft-spoken to be kind of a get-in-your-face type coach.
That's fair.
That's also composure.
It is.
I definitely like the progressiveness of the NBA. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about Damien Lillard trade rumors. Rumor he wanted to be traded. Damien Lillard comes out and goes, well, let's just give it one more year.
Yep.
I think this is Damien Lillard trying to be the good guy. I definitely think he's going to ask for a trade by the trade deadline. He's not loyal. It's a joke.
I had heard rumors that
he's still not a Trailblazer. Did I
for
miss
now?
something?
For now,
I heard rumors that he wanted to go to the Knicks.
Until he's not a Trailblazer, that man is loyal.
Here's the thing for me. His boy is Chris Haynes, and Chris Haynes has been reporting wins that he may want out for a while. He's only hearing that from Damien Lillard, from nobody else. And it happens with every NBA superstar nowadays. Like it's bound to happen. Like, and the fact that you're getting teams to come out too with these reports, I want to go to the Knicks. Who's that coming from? That's coming from Damien Lillard. It is.
I mean, the Trailblazers just failed him, not putting pieces around him.
Yeah, 100%. But
and hiring a coach he didn't really want, so.
Hiring a coach we had to answer about sexual allegation questions about.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that to say players aren't loyal, it's more of the franchise, especially the small market franchises, fail them.
I'll say one thing. That small market franchise in Milwaukee isn't failing Giannis.
God,
I'll say that.
And you want to know what? Championship?
You're the one that said that team is broken, and he's going to be good enough to bring him to a championship. So maybe Lillard's just not that guy. Maybe that's what it boils down to. Because you look at some of these small market teams, Kawhi Leonard got traded to Toronto. He was that guy. And, these small market teams can't win championships. We're about to watch either of these teams win. They're both small markets. They're about to win a championship. They're not prominent. If Phoenix is in a small market, whatever, but it's not a prominent NBA market. It's not New York or LA.
Well, there's only 3 of those.
or Chicago.
It's Chicago, LA, or New York. Those
But
are the
like,
legal ones.
and I would say Golden State's up there now. I would, just because like the Bay Area is crazy exploded money wise with Silicon Valley and all that stuff. But like, man, oh man, like you can't, like these small market teams and these players on small market teams like Damien Lillard, and like let's just like try to go down a quick list, like Luka, Zion, like all these guys that are sitting there complaining about Ja Morant that are like, listen, like, you know, I don't have enough talent around me. Well, I mean, Giannis is fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to be that guy. And they've like surrounded Giannis with Chris Middleton, who, let's be real, is probably the worst max player in the NBA.
Porzingis, isn't he a max player?
Yeah. God.
But to Middleton's defense, he does play defense, and
he does
capable of going off for like 4.
100%. But like you said, Morgan, Milwaukee's a broken team. They're not perfectly fit. Giannis is just that good.
Well, and I mean, Drew Holiday is a hell of a defender.
Oh yeah, he's a dog. That play at the end of the game.
That's the
chef's
one thing
kiss.
with them is they are a hell of a defensive team.
And I mean, even like friggin' Budenholzer, who doesn't make adjustments, has made adjustments this finals.
Fortunate to be
coaching Giannis. That's what he's fortunate. And that's what happens with these once in a, like, you know, generational players. Because whatever you want to say about Giannis, all of like his flaws in his game, he is once in a generation. They do not make human beings look like that muscular, that can move like him. That's why he's called the Greek freak. Because he's nothing I've ever seen before.
Pretty sure LeBron, but okay.
He's taller than LeBron though. He's physically more. He's literally like over 7 feet doing what he does. It's crazy. What I'm boiling down to is Morgan, put some respect on Giannis's name.
I mean, when he can figure out how to shoot, maybe.
If he wins the championship without being able to shoot, what are you going to do when he can't shoot?
I don't think he's going to be able to shoot.
That's fine. He'll still be an NBA champion. Moving on.
Shaq's a champion.
Moving on. Keldon Johnson, JaVale McGee into the Olympics. Bradley Beal out due to COVID. Kevin Love out due to COVID? Question mark.
I think he
shoulder.
He decided to leave. Yeah.
Recovering from his injury. Do we care? Do we think Team USA is going to have a problem in the Olympics? Are the NBA players going to get found out for being foul seeking bitches and going to be known as frauds?
I think they're definitely going to struggle a little bit unless they turn it on. I don't know if they're just not giving a shit right now.
That they have. I don't think there's another team they're going to go against that has Kevin Durant.
Well, I have some news. If another team has Giannis Antetokounmpo, they can beat Kevin Durant.
He ain't playing for Greece.
Don't think so.
And no chance.
Well, I think a lot of players on this Team USA team, especially somebody like Morgan's favorite player, James Harden, and Jason Tatum, and these dudes that seek fouls in the NBA are not going to get the calls that they expect for FIBA. Because I don't know how much you guys know about FIBA basketball. They let them beat the shit out of each other. It is like in Europe, it is a pure contact sport. Like that is their football over there.
They play with a different ball, right? Too.
Yes, it is a different ball, different size court as well.
NBA is using a new ball next year too.
Ooh, we'll have to.
I keep hearing JJ Redick talking about it, saying all the struggles, the shooters are going to struggle.
Nice.
Trying to adjust to it.
Are they trying to take the three out as being the prominent?
I don't know. They're just JJ's talked about it on his podcast where he's saying shooters are going to struggle.
The great ones will figure it out.
Yeah, you know, they'll adapt.
Great ones always do.
I'm excited to see this Olympics because I'll be like, I obviously we have Kevin Durant, Morgan, but like somebody like a prominent player on the team like James Harden, like dude, you're not going to be able to draw fouls like you do in the NBA. Like you guys aren't going to be able to foul seek and you play the way that you normally play. Like it's going to be like, you know, you're playing pickup basketball and it's like check ball, motherfucker. Like, and the biggest thing about these teams that are like, you know, overseas, like Team Nigeria that beat them, they're NBA players on that team. It's not like these teams are all scrubs anymore, like it was when the Dream Team went over and just ran train on everybody, and their main competition was Tony Kukoc. Like we're getting to a point where NBA is a global game, basketball is a global game, and these countries are starting to catch up. That's the reality of it.
Would they really be catching up though if Steph played, or if LeBron wasn't hurt, or if AD wasn't hurt?
No, if we're not that. Listen,
that's a different beast.
As a president once said, we're not sending our best.
Yeah, this is like a A- squad. This isn't like the.
It's not. It's a B.
This is a B.
This is the B squad.
B squad.
And the only reason I would say B+ is because of Kevin Durant.
And Lillard.
Agreed.
So I'm going to be curious to see how it pans out. I will be.
Of sports in the Olympics, basketball is so low on my list of watching that I probably won't even watch.
Morgan's definitely a huge water polo guy.
It kind of is fun to watch.
And pole vaulting.
Nah, gymnastics is the best, and
gymnastics.
Golf's in the Olympics this year. I'm excited for that.
Isn't softball coming back soon?
Softball, baseball are both coming back.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Can't wait for that.
I mean, it's not gonna be too many people playing for the American team, but we're gonna be good anyway.
But
the DR is sweeping.
Hey man, I'm from the Dominican Republic. Oh, I know. These two catch fly balls. It's a slap ass every single time I slap ass.
Go Rhinos.
Key and Peele skit, slap ass, go look it up. But my last NBA topic I got is Space Jam. A New Legacy.
Yeah.
It was a kid's movie, for sure. Doesn't come close to the first one.
No.
I felt bad for LeBron at certain moments in that film because the script was so fucking bad.
The writing is horrible.
Terrible writing.
And you know what I noticed? Like maybe like 30-ish minutes into that movie, it's like the exact same plot from a Hook.
Yeah.
It's the bad guy like taking the son in, trying to get him on his side, and he's got to like fight for him.
Yeah.
It's like the exact same story. I thought Don Cheadle was good in it.
Don Cheadle, the movie did have some bright spots. Don Cheadle was good. Yep. The CGI was crazy. Like, yeah, very impressive.
I thought the tunes looked real cool, CGI and stuff like that.
And there was some funny jokes in there. Like the Michael Jordan joke was great. Like that, like got me going.
I liked how they joked about him leaving Cleveland and then leaving Cleveland again was funny.
I will say the Michael Jordan joke. That's Michael B. Jordan. Where's Michael A. Jordan? Morgan, you clearly have something to say, so I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
So I went into this movie knowing I was probably going to hate it, but I don't fault LeBron James.
Oh, wow.
Because I think this movie was never going to succeed no matter what.
No.
The script was horrible. The writing was terrible. Just a lot of the acting was bad. I didn't think Cheadle was great. It wasn't his best performance.
Oh.
But the character he was set up to play wasn't a well-written character either.
Not a lot of depth to the film.
And I think more anything, I was really disappointed in the soundtrack.
Oh, dude, I can't even express how much I agree with you. There's no memorable music in that movie.
I think, like, if you go back and look at the first Space Jam, acting is not great in it, but the soundtrack with
it has
why it's so iconic.
That CD, that first Space Jam has bangers. I used to listen to that movie soundtrack.
Oh, dude, the soundtrack to Space Jam 1 is the selling point.
Yeah,
it's so good. Although I did like the opening credits to this one. I thought it was cool.
It was all LeBron. I was like,
I thought it was cool.
I was sitting there eating dinner with a huge smile on my face, and Caitlin's looking at me. She's like, "Really?" I'm like,
"That was literally like a replay of the first Space Jam, the opening scene."
Yeah, I get what they were going for.
I get that. I don't know.
What else you got to put at the beginning?
Yeah.
I don't know. There was cool moments. Them traveling through all the worlds, the Warner Brother world.
That was cool.
Seeing Roadrunner in the Mad Max movie was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Granny as what's her face?
Trinity.
Yeah.
That was kind of epic.
The little mouse is Neo.
How about Rick and Morty making an appearance.
Yeah, Rick and Morty. We're done experimenting on him. Take him back. That's like the most like Rick and Morty thing ever, though. With like the Tasmanian Devil. It'd be like we're done experimenting.
I think that movie may find some sort of cult following years down the road. People will be like, yeah, you know what? People will still watch it.
I don't just because the soundtrack's not going to be there. I don't think there was anything that memorable.
Kids are still going to watch it though.
Yeah,
I think it beat Black Widow.
Really?
I think I read that.
Wow.
I mean, I think it's just.
Obviously, it's going to pan with critics. It's a fucking kids movie.
Well, it's a kid. You shouldn't be able to judge that movie if you're not a child. Like, would you get a kid to judge a rated R movie? No, they'd be like, wow, this movie has not enough fucking robots in it. This sucked. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have an adult judge a movie that's for like 6-year-olds.
Yeah, but Morgan's selling point about the soundtrack, I agree. I couldn't agree with more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree with more.
And like I said, I don't blame LeBron. He's not an actor. He's not a professional actor.
I'm not going to lie. I also thought the fucking game they were playing was stupid.
Yeah, it was
horrible.
Play a normal basketball game.
Yeah, just play a normal one.
And they stole the court from 2K, so
yeah,
that court wasn't even an original idea.
And I think my biggest gripe with that movie as a whole is there's no reason for anything that's happening. Like every scene just kind of jumps to like the next part of whatever's going on. There's no like Michael Jordan was there. They had to fix the gym. He had to get ready, warm up, get back into basketball. And this one, it's just like he somehow accepts that he's in a fake world with no questioning.
They've done it in a less time in the original Space Jam. The original Space Jam's like an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah, and
this one was a 2-hour film.
Because the original one wastes no time.
None.
This one wasted a lot of time doing just stuff it didn't need to do.
I will be going on the Movie Rant Break podcast tomorrow night, actually, at 6 p.m. to talk about this. So I'm going to give my score then. I'll get into it more. But Nick and Morgan, what do you guys got for a score?
I would give this generously like a 3.7.
Morgan?
Let me think, because I would give Daredevil probably like a 1.4. It just
I love how Daredevil is the bar.
Your bar is the worst fucking movie.
It's so
ever.
funny because we all saw that movie together. We walked out of that movie being like, that was so bad.
Especially, dude, you watch that movie coming off the heels of Spider-Man, like the original Tobey Maguire one.
Bro, we were like kids and we were like, what the fuck did we just watch?
What did I just watch? This was a fucking hour and a half long Evanescence music video.
Yeah, like, I think it's slightly better than Daredevil, but not
I love the thought process. You're like, let's see, Daredevil, I thought you were going to be like a 0.
I didn't enjoy it. And if it was like 95 minutes, it might have been a little bit better, but
yeah, I mean, they definitely could have trimmed off some fat.
Honestly, they should have just done like a little mini kids series on it, not even made it a movie.
Yeah, fair.
Have a kids series Space Jam, but just have different athletes, cameo in it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But whatever. It is what it is. That movie was doomed from the fucking word go. So.
Agreed. Like, let's move on to baseball. Nick, take on over, kid. So
baseball. It was a pretty good week in baseball. Let's start it off. DeGrom's on the IL.
Sad face.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, that's not a good thing. But it was a good week for baseball news.
Hashtag sad face.
Yeah.
I honestly think the Mets are going to shut him down.
You don't think he's playing the rest of the season?
He may, but he shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a little older. I don't know how much time he's got in the league. I don't know. It'd be disappointing to see him shut it down on such a historic run.
Yeah, arm tightness, you don't know what that could be. So many different injuries that it could proceed and all that.
You definitely don't want it to get worse.
No.
That's all right. My one pick will be awful, but Nick still had the Cleveland Indians making the playoffs, so it's okay.
Hey, they won. Didn't they just win like 2 of their 3 games this week?
Congratulations.
I told you they're making a late push. I didn't say they were going to win every game for the rest of the year. All right, well, let's move over then. It was the Padres. Speaking of wins, the Padres beat Morgan's Washington Nationals 24-8.
Tatis Jr.
Dominating performance.
They put up 8 runs. I mean, that's gonna get you a win in a lot of games.
Not that game.
The other team scored 24.
Not with the other team times your score by 3.
Yeah, that's a. But the other game in that series, they were shut down because there was a shooting outside the stadium.
Scary, man.
Yeah, people are fucking gross.
Did you see like Tatis and them like getting their families and like they
Getting
were
them
like
all in the dugout.
random like fans into the
Yeah.
dugout too? Like Tatis had a quote about it. He was like, "Listen, at that point, like he's like, I'm not seeing just my family. He's like, I'm seeing like human beings.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get them safe. That was crazy.
Yeah, they were pulling them all into the dugout, and I think what did 3 people died or got injured?
3 people got injured. No,
Injured.
I don't think there was any fatalities.
Yeah, I saw the thing come over on the jumbotron in outfield saying like the event is outside, stay inside the stadium.
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
can.
that.
I mean, I watched SportsCenter this morning. You could hear like the gunshots.
Yeah, it's crazy too, especially after I don't know if we ever touched on it, the potential stopping of a shooting in Colorado
Yeah,
at the All-Star
crazy.
game. I don't remember if we
Crazy.
touched on that or not. It was over
I don't think we
16
did.
weapons, over 1,000 rounds of ammunition and body armor right near the stadium. I believe a maid found it and they arrested 4 people.
Thank God for that maid.
Why can't they just let people have a good time?
I don't
We gotta
know.
go out and be a fucking scumbag. It's ridiculous.
Couldn't agree more.
Speaking of Tatis helping everybody out, somebody else who helps people out today, Ohtani, gave all of his money from participating in the home run derby, $150,000, I think,
Yep.
all to the support staff, the Anaheim Angels.
What a
Wasn't he
guy.
Anaheim? Yeah, that's
What
awesome.
a guy. Like, guy. I mean, there's nothing you could say that would make you dislike the guy.
No, dude's class act through and through.
All I gotta
Especially,
say, I just have to say one thing to Stephen A. Smith in particular. Stephen, stay off the weed.
I still can't believe he said that shit.
It's so,
So
unfathomable.
So disrespectful. But yeah, dude, Ohtani out there having a good time and doing good things. That guy's
Stephen
great.
A. Smith over the more recent years has said some very questionable shit,
Yeah, I mean,
and it's like,
Questionable
ooh.
being generous.
he knows they're not going to get rid of him.
No.
He's almost the face of the fucking network. Like,
I'd probably say
I
yes.
mean, they got rid of Dan Patrick, so he's not untouchable.
I mean, Dan Patrick is one of the all-timers. He might be the best interviewer in sports.
Oh, I don't even think it's close.
He's so good at asking questions and like follow-up questions. He kills it.
Yeah.
Shout out Dan Patrick.
shout him out.
I hope he
We had a
hears
good-
this. He's so cool.
That'd be awesome. We had a second of the year this year. Cronenuorth recorded the second cycle of the season after Trey Turner's,
Nice.
so that's nice. He's doing
Those have
pretty
been
good.
pretty recent, right? Both of them.
Both of them, yeah. Trey
was a
Turner's
couple
was
weeks
like
ago.
not even a full 2 weeks, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, right near each other. Another personal stat that I had written down off to the side. Corbin Burns today, the Brewers swept their series, and he had 12 strikeouts and 8 innings pitched today.
World Series picks looking good.
They are looking real good. They just got, so I mean, on the episode of all episodes with the starting rotation of 3, they just have probably the best 3 starting rotation in baseball right now.
I remember you saying that when we were talking about him.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better one right now.
Yeah.
Morgan's sitting there shifting through the files in his head. No, not them.
I mean, the Astros have a pretty good rotation too.
Yeah, but they
Those
also don't need to have a
cheaters.
rotation because their
They're-
offense is just putting up so many
Their
runs.
offense is ridiculous.
Like they're too good.
Not impressed.
The actual team who will win the World Series.
Yeah.
Last topic.
Go Sox!
Speaking of, the last topic I had for baseball today, the Red Sox Yankees series has been so crazy. First game was postponed due to COVID because it's back in sports apparently.
Yeah, we'll touch on that with the Olympics.
Yeah, and the second game had a meaningless 1-hour rain delay. Oh no, I'm sorry, the third game.
Didn't rain.
Meaningless rain delay to then play in heavier rain than it was during the delay. They should have stopped that game. It was crazy. Nobody could hold on to anything. And it was probably the worst officiating I've seen in a long time in a baseball game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you and I were texting this game.
Yeah.
It was not good.
It was ridiculous.
I came back to 58 text messages after not checking my phone.
I mean, it was unreal, dude. I forget who got thrown out at first.
Oh,
The dude's foot.
Renfro?
Was it Renfro? His foot is on first base. There's no mistaking it. You can still see the ball in the air before it's even caught in the video, and they called him out. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I mean, fortunately, they overturned it, but
Yeah, it got over to him, but still, just like, are you kidding me, dude?
that's another gripe is they take way too long on these reviews. I don't understand.
Every sport.
If you can't tell within the first 30 seconds, keep the calls on keep the same calls. Which
I didn't even need
no
a replay camera to
and
show
yet
you.
they took like 3 minutes reviewing that play.
It's ridiculous.
Really
it's like they're
quick.
looking at the ball. Like, is it a mirage? Like,
Do you think the ump looks up at the scoreboard during these replays and goes, "Ooh, I was wrong on that one"?
yeah. Might be
You know,
in trouble on that
I would
one.
hope so.
Yeah, and to add to the craziness, Verdugo got a ball thrown at him
Saw that.
from a fan.
He was livid.
I guess the fan, they found out he's banned for life from all MLB games.
Nice.
I guess from what Verdugo was saying, he threw a ball to a kid, and some dude intercepted it and then threw it back at him, and apparently it hit him.
Wow.
So, just like watch the game.
Really quick, how did my Cy Young predicted winner Garrett Cole do in this series?
He looked real good last night.
Yeah, he looked real good.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is interesting. It's about time he earned some of that $342 million.
Bro, he's doing good this year.
He was so bad that other appearance. Like,
What appearance?
horrible.
Dude's still like 10-4 with like a 2.5 ERA.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Coming from a former Yankees fan.
Nick, do you have anything else baseball related for us, my friend?
That is all I had for baseball.
Perfect. I'm going to be going over to our obscure correspondent for sports with Gauff in UFC. I read it in the obscure sports quarterly. How could I have missed it? Morgan, why don't you go ahead and let us in on a little info on Gauff and UFC?
So in the golf world, we had the Open, as they call it now,
The Open.
formerly known as the British Open. Colin Morikawa coming up with 4 great.
That's a mouthful, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wait till I get to UFC. He comes up, puts together 4 really good days of golf. Shot a 67, 64, 68, 66, minus 15 for the tournament. Won by 2 shots over Jordan Spieth, who was also surging the final day. But he went 4 under to bring home his second major title.
As they say, the course didn't win.
The course never wins in the Open.
Okay.
The U.S. Open's the one where the course wins.
Ah.
But Colin Morikawa joins one other man to win the PGA and the British Open at the age of 24 or younger.
Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods is the other.
Woo! Any golf trivia, I'm just going to say Tiger Woods, and hopefully it's right.
Normally, you're going to be right 95% of the time.
I'm saying Tiger Woods or whoever the dude is on the tee.
Yeah, I mean, so that's pretty impressive. Morikawa, great young golfer, 24.
Nice.
He's 4th in the U.S. Open. He's played really good golf.
Are we excited for the headlines as a podcast that he's going to be the next Tiger Woods?
He's nobody's the next Tiger. First it was Rory, then it was Brooks, then it was.
You mean Blake?
Yeah, Blake.
Blake Koepka.
And then you got good old Bryson DeChambeau complaining about his driver because he made a new driver that he's complaining about because he can't hit it straight because it's a 5-degree driver.
You'll have to explain that to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
So I swing a 10.5-degree driver. Basically, it's the loft on the club.
Gotcha.
Most golfers are between a 9 and a 10. He wanted a 5 because he's trying to add more distance, so it's a smaller launch angle, but the distance is further. And he can't hit it, and he's pissed. And his caddy's one of the guys who makes the drivers, and they're not happy with him. Bryson's just a little whining little bitch.
Making their product look bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bryson's.
He did have to come out and apologize, saying that it was him that sucked out the equipment, right?
I think so.
I think he did. I'm 95% sure he did.
He should, because for him to, he's just a bitch.
That's a
awesome.
power move.
So I mean that's about it. There was the other golf tournament going on. Some dude shot a 60, 12 under, which was ridiculous.
Jesus.
I
Was
saw
that
that.
the Paramount or something like that?
Something like that. I
Something
didn't
like
look
that,
at the name. I just saw his -12 on the score. I'm like, what the hell?
That's a decent day on the links.
Jesus. So going over to the UFC, my girl Miesha Tate returned in style after almost 5 years of the layoff. She had a kid. She had to step away. Wasn't mentally focused on it. She fought a fighter who was going, and it was her last fight. She was retiring, Marion Renault. But Miesha got it done. Just dominated on the ground, and then really just ground and pound in the third round and TKO'd. Ref had to pull her off.
Nice.
So I was happy to see her back. And then we've got the headliner of the UFC fights last night. Islam Makhachev is the new Khabib. He is an absolute animal. He should be fighting for the title. He's 20-1. The dude is just an absolute. You can't beat him.
What's his weight class?
He's Connor's. Whatever that 155.
Yeah, 155, I believe.
But nobody wants to fight him because they're gonna lose. Like the fight wasn't close. He dominated all 4 rounds, finished him in the 4th with a rear naked choke. I mean, this dude is Khabib. Like he gets you on the ground and he dominates you. Khabib's his coach, like so.
Khabib was okay.
Yeah, no, Khabib's all right, but the dude is just an absolute animal. So I hope he's getting the title fight soon.
So real quick, we didn't touch on this before the weekly wrap up, but with UFC, I want to talk about Conor real quick. Do you think he had stress fractures in his leg?
Yes, they knew.
They say you can see in pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That he looked fucked up.
I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he was talking about how some girl did an interview with his camp, and they told him that 3 weeks prior to the fight. So I mean, the UFC definitely knew.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to move a fight like that.
Well, and that's why Dana said he's going to get the 4th fight with Poirier because he knew that.
It makes sense now.
I need you to go out there and fight this because we need this fight.
Yeah, it makes sense why Dana was like, he's getting another fight against Poirier.
Yeah.
I mean, so essentially what's going to happen is Conor's going to recover and he's going to come back and fight for the title. Because I think Poirier is going to win the title.
I told you that.
You were right. I was wrong.
I mean, he's their biggest draw. That's what they have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he comes back. I hope, I definitely want him to come back. I want Conor to reach the peak of his powers again because when he's the champ, it's nothing more entertaining than him, man.
But UFC fighters are a different breed because knowing he has stress fractures in his leg and he's throwing those kicks as hard as he is.
And he's just sitting there on the edge of the cage with his leg just dangling and he's like, your wife sent me DMs.
they're just a different animal in that.
He's a fucking Irish madman.
Get it right. Fucking.
He's a fucking Irish madman.
Irish madman.
In the most endearing way possible. But let's move on to the Olympics as we referenced earlier. Coco Gauff out of the Olympics due to COVID.
Yep.
And COVID is taking over the Olympic Village with 3 positive tests.
I think there was that 3.
It's back.
Two athletes and 1 staff member, coach, something like that.
All right, so I'm going to give you guys a date. When's the start of the Olympics? Anybody know?
23rd, maybe? Somewhere in next week.
July 23rd. Is it canceled before or after?
After. They're not going to cancel it again.
You don't think?
It's not gonna get canceled.
That's so much money they're going to lose that they can't afford to.
I just don't get it, man. Like, how are you getting to this village? How are you not getting tested prior to even entering where you're going? I don't understand it.
Could be a staffer coming in, though, that's like making them the food and shit like that. You never know.
They have rapid tests.
I mean, James Harden's going to be pissed. He's not going to be able to leave the campus and go to any strip clubs.
Well,
they're professional athletes. COVID's not really going to affect them too much.
Fair.
It's affecting the people around them, apparently.
True.
Then you're going to get yourself in a mess like last time.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden 3 turns into 6, then 6 turns into 12, and 12 is 24.
Now we have the Delta strain.
Yes.
Did they fly over there on Delta?
Hey, don't Surrey Delta's good name, okay?
Spirit.
No, it sucks for Coco though.
Yeah,
'cause
it does.
She's 16 now.
Oh well, she'll be back.
She will be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Speaking of somebody who may not be back in their sport, I want to end on this note. The sad note, the Richard Sherman incident. You know, it hits hard for people that have seen people go through similar stuff when they realize football is over for them at any level. And it happens to everybody, like to an extent. Like there's this mental thing, and Sherman's career is coming to an end. They were thinking, I believe he was thinking about getting another year in Seattle, but it's over. You know, he's not getting signed now.
Yeah, no, this definitely is not going to help.
And it's hard for you. It's hard to see, like if you've heard the 911 call and you've seen the video. I mean, the biggest thing at the end of the day, one, I'm glad he didn't hurt anybody, but two, like, I just hope he goes and gets the help he needs. Because
I heard the 911 call. It was pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy. And the video is even worse because like he is literally like 6'5" and he's about to like bust that door down.
And
and
his father-in-law is standing there with his gun.
Yeah.
Protecting his daughter.
Correct. It's scary.
The incident could have ended so many different ways, but I mean, it came out the way it did, and that's probably the best case scenario it could have ended.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and like
he was threatening to kill himself,
and he was fighting with the cops. The dog bit him. Like
his kids were in the house really too. Bad. Like at the end of the day, I really hope he gets the help that he needs. I don't want to pass judgment on somebody without knowing like what he's actually going through. And, you know, watching dudes like, you know, even dudes that like I've been close to that have had incidents with the law after football is over. Like, you just think about what it's like getting your head beat in for that amount of times, what it actually does to you, you know?
And I mean, it's his first offense. So
he's not getting charged with any felonies. He's only getting charged for the DUI.
And
the hit and run, I believe.
He's a really class character off the field.
He's a graduate from Stanford. I
mean, he's a really smart guy. He's a great guy in the community. He had a bad night, and the alcohol didn't help. And
no, I mean, I think that's more of a bad night. Honestly, I think that's like a culmination of a lot of shit going on in his life.
Yeah.
And obviously, that's not a healthy way to do it. But at this point, I'm glad he's alive. I hope he's able to get the help that he needs. And so anybody that does need the help, go talk to somebody. Like they got hotlines, you know, reach out to a friend. I'm sure, you know, if, you know, they're your friends, they'll talk to you. You want to reach out to any three of us, all of our socials are attached. You can get a hold of us, you know? So, you know, anybody going through stuff like that, make sure you reach out and talk to people. Anybody got anything else that want to end the podcast on a positive note with?
I don't think there's anything positive left.
We've taken that all up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I wanted to let David Sunflower Seeds know that their new flavor is fucking horrible.
Here we go.
I'm serious.
Go
I
ahead.
had them on Wednesday, and I'm still mad about it.
Talk to me about it. Why was it so bad?
It's the sweet and spicy flavor. And I couldn't even think of anything to describe them other than disrespectful. It was the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. And to have that even attached to the sport of Major League Baseball is detrimental to that sport.
Fair.
Detrimental.
I was never a seed guy in baseball, so.
They're awful.
I was. Actually, I think it was the Frito-Lay seeds, the green bags I like the most. They came with like the skinny pouches. Those are my favorite.
Stick to original or barbecue.
I would just stick that in my back right pocket and just be sitting out in the outfield, just eating seeds while Morgan's just out there throwing a gem. I was bored out there. The ball wasn't coming to me, you know?
I wasn't known for that.
I just couldn't believe it.
15 Ks in a Little League game.
To think that those seeds with that particular logo might be seen on the field somewhere. We're trying to save baseball from its own destruction. They're changing rules. They're giving out half championships. And to have these seeds,
would you give it up, man? Would you give up the half championship?
Have they any decency?
No, they don't.
That said, David Seeds, if you want to sponsor us, we'll gladly accept and really.
Absolutely, this is coming from a lifetime customer. Take those fucking seeds off the shelves.
Lifetime customer.
They are so horrible for the sport of baseball.
Fair.
They tasted like failure.
Like LeBron's movie.
Oh.
Listen, I didn't fault LeBron. How much more do you want from me? I was nice to LeBron. I know I surprised you guys with that. So
you did.
You did. Well, I will end this on a positive note. One of our good friends, John X. Smith, is actually having a performance on July 25th. It's a Sunday. He's performing in Rentham, Massachusetts. It's for Modern Day Circus. You can go on his Instagram page. There'll be a link in there that you can buy tickets. They're only $5. I know Stash and I will be there. Got a couple other friends going. So if you guys want to do that, we'll be there. We'll be hanging out. And I believe it's at a drone convention too. And they're going to have drone races, which will be pretty cool. He's performing. Another friend of the program who hasn't been on yet, One Up will be performing as well. I'm going on his podcast, the Movie Rant Break, tomorrow. I don't know when he'll drop the episode, but I'm recording tomorrow. And then another guy that Nick and I have got to know is Dave Gutter, Dave Gutter has a very long history of music. Very actually has some juice behind the name with him.
He performed with David Bowie.
That's incredible. He also does the score to the TV show Narcos on Netflix, which is insane.
Dope.
And he's just a super cool dude. Super nice guy. He did not act as famous as he actually is around Nick and I, which was really cool.
Yeah, he was super down to earth.
Yeah. So, give us a shout. You guys need any help getting tickets, you can get a hold of us. I think that's all I got. You guys got anything else to say before we get out of here?
That's all I got.
Tom Brady's got a bigger ego than anybody I've ever heard.
Yeah, he does. We'll talk about Thomas Edward Brady soon. We're coming up on the NFL season. I have some things to discuss about Thomas.
Him with this damn injury thing that, the team's going to get fined, should get fined because they didn't disclose a major injury. That's
correct.
Not a thing you can do.
Tom correct.
Brady. Yeah. I mean, it puts some weight to the deflate gate and Tom Brady's a cheater kind of thing.
I mean, I think he needed his Kurt Schilling bloody sock moment.
Does he
not even.
He wants one.
Whatever.
He wants to seem superhuman.
That dude's gonna get hit one day on the field and turn into fucking dust.
God, I hope so.
It's gonna look like when Thanos snapped his fingers.
Infinity Gauntlet, that
motherfucker.
There's just no need for that story to come out.
Who cares?
What does that accomplish for you?
Nothing.
I think less of you now because you want the credit for playing with the torn MCL.
Yeah, dude, you threw a brace on. There's offensive linemen that play through fucking worse, dude.
And he doesn't move.
Yeah,
you're the greatest, dude.
He takes 3 to 5 steps back and rolls out occasionally.
It's over, and it's not even fucking close.
Not even close. I mean, we're gonna have an NFL episode coming up here soon. Hopefully we'll be able to get Murph on. Murph, I hope you're getting healthy, staying hydrated. Hope that COVID's not keeping you down too bad anymore, man. Yeah. But we'll do that Ed Reed, Ronnie Lott episode here I'm hoping the next month we'll be able to get them booked in. We're actually gonna have a midweek interview really quick. I got one more promo. We got a friend of Morgan and I in high school, Brad Carpenter, and one of his college roommates made a game called, let me go over here and look now that I'm sitting here spitting out random stuff. If you guys want to talk real quick to help me, that'd be great.
Didn't you fault Morgan for this earlier?
I did. So it is covered.
Your shit ready.
It is covered. It is covered. It is covered 10 cornhole. It is literally essentially beer pong, but with cornhole boards. So we'll have him and his friend on to talk about that. We're going to interview them Wednesday night. We'll post it Thursday morning. Just going to be a quick, 15 to 20 minute interview. We're trying to get a little more interviews in. He's going to talk about, his Kickstarter program he's got going. So that'll be a fun time. And that is literally now all I have. That's it. I'm done now.
That's it.
Sure?
I'm done.
That's it. All right. Well, on that note, boys, have a great rest of your night.
I will see you
later.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
And in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Knock, why don't you take us on out?